Hi crafters, this is Tammy the Joyful Crafter, and I'm here today to show you the Heartfelt Creations Classic Rose stamps, die, and mold set. So whenever I am going to stamp out some roses, I do a whole bunch of these roses. There's several different sizes on one stamp, and then the die cuts them all out at once, and so I just go ahead, put that in my stamping tool like Misty, and I stamp out a whole bunch of them, and then I save them in a plastic bag, so whenever I feel like making one of these roses, it's not a big ordeal. I have all these things waiting for me. So I like a rose that has lots and lots of layers to it. It's not at all necessary that you do one with this many layers, but this is the way I like to do it. Now some people color these before they cut them out. Some people use colored paper. Some people stamp the image in a colored ink. I've just used a nice black ink. This is probably Memento black ink, and then I color with my Copic markers, and I'm doing this really pretty yellow that because I'm doing Texas roses, because I'm from Texas, and so I love yellow roses. On this last little piece right here, the very top one, I'm coloring both top and bottom of the rose, and you'll see why here in a minute. Now once you get them all colored, you just put them into the die or the mold, and very easy to get them in here. It's just like making a quick little puzzle, and even if you don't get them in the right holes, it doesn't matter much. They still get so much dimension just from putting them through this mold. So mist them just one little mist with your I have my Tim Holtz Distressed Mister there. Put the lid on and run that through your Big Shot or even your Cuttlebug. It'll work with that too. Once you've got it out, look at this. They pop right out. One's having a little trouble, and look at the dimension. They're nice and bent, really have a lot of dimension to them already. Now I take my little foam pad. This is just kind of like a mouse pad. It's kind of squishy, a little bit squishy there. And I take a stylus and I just kind of bend the flowers in the middle. I use my art glitter glue and put this together in layers. Really quick, really easy. Now obviously I've sped this up because you all know how to stamp. You know how to use a die cut machine usually. If you don't, I'm going to link to some places where you can learn all of that basic information. But as you can see, super quick to color these, especially when you have them all cut out and ready and waiting for you. Then you put a little dot of that art glitter glue. I use the stylus to press it in right there in the middle. The thing I love about that art glitter glue, it will absolutely keep it together. They will not fall apart. It dries pretty quickly. Now this one right here, this little bud that we're going to put in the middle, notice how I bent it kind of extra. I put glue over all the edges of it, and then I'm going to sort of hold it together because this is the bud that's the very center of your rose. So I'm going to hold that together with one hand, and with my other hand I'm going to put my last little petals, a group of petals in there, press it down with my stylus. I'm still holding that little bud in my hand. Now I'm putting a dot of glue and putting it in there. Could not be quicker or easier to make one of these flowers, and when people see them they look at them and say, wow, how did you do that? That's amazing. So I want to put my leaves on the bottom there. As you can see, I cut out lots of leaves too. Do the same thing with it. Put it in there, run it through your Big Shot or your Cuttlebug, glue your leaves on. Now let's put this on a card. I thought it would be really pretty to have a nice hello card, so I'm using the My Favorite Things Hello Dynamics, and this is a Lawn Fawn quilted backdrop, and I love how it cuts out all those little holes, and just a plain brown craft card base. So I'm going to take my Tim Holtz Distress ink, and I'm just going to lightly sponge. This is an antique linen, and I'm doing that around the whole edge, and then right there in the middle where my hello is going to go. I'm going to glue that quilted backdrop down, then run the hello through my Big Shot and cut out these letters. Really easy, just punch them right out. And you'll notice that the middle of the O isn't there. You can leave that. That's not going to matter too much, but save those letters. You might need that hello for something else. See how we're going to put the rose right there on the hello? Well, since that rose has some shape to it, I can take the middle of that O and glue it right there on the back. I hope you enjoyed this card today. Please give me a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel. Thanks for joining me today on The Joyful Crafter.